final offensive play? Was the design on that to go to Domas all along?
Yes, it was on that one, but I thought the other guys, the four others involved in that play just had great pace and great movement. He really moved and shifted the defense. So give credit to the passer and, getting it to Domas there, Justin, and the other guys flying around. And then for Domas making a tough play at the rim.
Other questions, please. We'll keep this moving. Go ahead.
Yeah, Nate, this is the first time your team's been tested in a game that comes down to the wire. What'd you learn about this group down the stretch tonight?
They fight. They were fighting the entire game. So it's a group. I know I've been saying that this is a group that really plays hard for each other, no matter who's out there on the floor. I thought they were being as active as they could on the defensive end. It was a very physical game. A lot of bumping, both ways, and I thought our guys handled it very nicely.
Scott.
Yeah, Nate, considering so much newness with you and your staff, how pleased are you how you guys have started out now off with a 3-0 start?
Yeah, the credit to the players on that. They're battling and they're fighting and they're not taking possessions off. I think even on the offensive end, I liked, it did get a little, physical and sluggish there at times and stand stillish, but I liked it when we were flying around with pace, and looking for each other. Guys know when somebody needs the ball, and they do a good job of getting it to them. So again, a lot of unselfishness with this team.
Akeem, go ahead, please.
Coach, what is it about the third quarter that really allows you guys to kind of lock in and kind of swing the momentum back on your side?
Well, the guys get to regroup a little bit. It's a good little breather for them as well. Get their focus back, and they come out. They come out of the locker room with the purpose. They do. They're very assertive and aggressive. They want to be aggressive on both ends. To start the second half. And again, it starts with their defense. This team talks about defense first, and defense creating our offense, which is what happened there to start the third quarter, like you mentioned.
Scott.
And Nate, I'm curious, what have you learned most about Domas now in your time working directly with him? What has maybe surprised you or you've been in awe of the most?
Very competitive, very fiery, wants to win extremely bad. And he's willing to do whatever it takes to do that. He does. He's got a lot of fire, plays with good emotion, but he's patient as well. Knows when to be patient down there on the block. I keep saying he's such a great teammate. The way he sets screens, and I thought his verticality at the rim today was big. I thought Miles Turner's blocks at the rim today again were big. So those two are doing a nice job of protecting the paint down there.
Tony.
Nate, you got another big game from Doug McDermott tonight, a guy you continue to give a lot of minutes to. He had a lot of two-pointers, actually. What have you seen from him this season that's impressed you, and why have you been able to fit him in so well on offense with both twos and threes?
Yeah, it's his pace. It's the pace at which he plays on the offensive end. I mean, he comes flying out of those corners, and he did. And if they're trailing him, he can turn that corner with his size and finish at the rim. Teams are paying a lot of attention to Domas, and if he can turn that corner and get to the paint, good things can happen. And he's taken advantage of that. I do. It's just I like to play him because of his pace. The way he flies around out there, and he's hard to guard.
Akeem.
Coach, how with the way you guys started going 3-0, how excited should fans be once they finally get a chance to see you guys in person? How excited should they be about this team?
Yeah, we the guys do. They talk about it to me. They really miss the fans, and I'm really looking forward to getting to meet the fans of Indiana. And it will happen. It'll come. I hope they enjoy watching the games at home. We think of the fans constantly, and we just want to play as hard as we can, for them.
Seth Johnson.
Nate, you spoke a little bit about Miles on defense. I guess I feel like in all three of these first games, he's really made an impact. Can you speak to what you've seen from him on the defensive end so far this season?
His rim protection, his shot blocking ability. He is a presence down there. He's got great timing on his blocks. He's a very, very unselfish player on the offensive end. I really liked it how he had a little stretch in there where he was getting to the rim a little bit and finishing. I love the minutes that he plays. I think he's very efficient in those minutes.
Any final questions for Coach to follow up? All right, Nate, thank you very much. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
everybody.
All set.
Hey, Domas, you got us?
What's up?
Okay, start with question, please.
Yeah, Domas, Nate dialed your number there on that last inbounds. Can you take us through what you saw on the go-ahead basket?
We've been practicing that play in training camp, and coach trusts me with the ball in my hands with the last possession. It's awesome having that feeling from coach. He just tries to make us better. Makes us do things that we're not used to. And I just try to go out and take advantage of it.
Seth Johnson.
Tomas, in all three of these first games, you guys have really come out in the third quarter and poured it on. What would you attribute to this third quarter success so far?
I think we're usually not happy at halftime with our performance. No matter if we're up or down, we know we can do better, and we just come out in that third quarter and try and get back to ourselves.
Hakeem.
Domas, Malcolm called Coach Nate a brilliant kind of basketball mind. How much faith do you guys have in him in his after timeouts and inbounds play that he's going to drop something that can get you guys a basket?
I mean, he's been great all season so far, preseason, training camp. He has a different play for everything. He trusts every single one. He knows who's going off, who he wants the ball in his hands in the right moment, matchups, and that makes it easier for the players, we all trust him, and we just try to execute as best as we can.
Other questions, please.
Hey, Wes, can I jump in? It's J. Michael.
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, Domas, how much that last read that you made to keep it, how much of that was you guys playing off of the way Boston had been switching or tends to switch that you could, it seems like they had a little bit of hesitation because they thought you were going to hand it off.
Mm-hmm.
And that little bit of hesitation gave you that corner to get so deep to where they couldn't stop you by the time you got to the rim.
That's coach. He's a genius. He's been seeing that all game that they've been switching, as the game went on. It felt like they were point switching, getting lazier, and coach drew up a play where we could take advantage of that.
Scott.
Domas, you've obviously gotten off to this 3-0 start. What has stood out to you? What have you learned about this group, maybe that you didn't know a couple of weeks ago at the shortened training camp?
We got a lot of players. We got a lot of players who want to come out and play. Coach knows how to use us all. He's trying to put us in the right positions. It's only game 3 of the season. We got so much more to learn, but so far guys are happy. Guys are playing good and especially confident. And that's the most important thing.
Anything else for Domas? All right. Thank you. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. Appreciate it.
Malcolm.
How you doing?
Wheat, you want to start us with questions, please?
Yeah, Malcolm, I guess you could say this is the toughest test this team has faced so far in this early in the season. What did you learn about your team tonight down the stretch?
I think we got great coaching. I think we got a coach that motivates us, a coach that's great with the X's and O's, and a coach that stays calm in high pressure situations. So we feed off of him in every aspect of the game, and it comes through for us.
Seth Johnson.
Hey, Malcolm, in all three of these first games, you guys have had great third quarters. You just spoke to the coaching as well. Kind of what would you attribute to these third quarters and how great you guys are coming out after the half?
Adjustments. We make adjustments. I think coach is one of his strengths is identifying what we're not doing well and showing us, teaching us how to do it better and how to change it, improve on it for the second half. So that's what we do at halftime, and that's really worked for us.
Pat Boylan.
Malcolm, what was it like experiencing your first close game without fans? And is there anything else you have to do to get through those moments where fans can typically carry your energy a lot?
You got to rely on each other, rely on your teammates, and really stay focused. This game is all about who can lock in, who can, pay attention to the details at the end of games, and who can execute what their coach is asking them to do the best. And whether or not you have fans, you got to be able to do that at a high level, and that's what we were able to do tonight.
Akeem.
Malcolm, you mentioned Coach Nate's ability to teach. How much did his familiarity with Boston because of his time in Toronto, how much did that kind of help when you guys are looking for certain tendencies and way to stop them down the
He has a really good beat on, a lot of the top players in the league. Jason Tatum's one of them. And, guarding him down the stretch, coach gave me a lot of keys to pay attention to really make it uncomfortable for him. But coach is from a championship caliber team and culture. So to bring that here and to, put that on us, it's huge. It changes. It's going to change our entire season.
J. Michael.
Malcolm, speaking of adjustments, the winning shot from Domas, Boston had been switching that handoff a lot, and it looks like you guys took advantage, or at least I asked Domas. He said you guys thought they had gotten predictable with that. Can you kind of speak to, is that one of the sort of adjustments that you're referring to by taking advantage of them switching on that? And it looks like they got confused, which allows Domas to get downhill to get that go-ahead bucket.
Absolutely. It takes a high IQ coach and a patient coach to draw something like that up at the end of the game. You're getting Domas to a strong hand on the left side of the rim to finish, but at the same time, coach has been seeing them switch that the entire game, and he saved it for literally the last play. So, X's and O's and understanding the game like that and being able to make that adjustment at the end of the game, that's championship basketball.
Scott.
Malcolm, you were thrilled kind of where you were at entering camp and the growth you had had. Is this kind of the type of game, kind of leadership that you were intending to apply on a game like this where Vic sits out, for example?
For sure. Whether or not Vic is there, I intend to lead, and Vic does as well. But especially when Vic is not there, I got to apply more pressure. And that's what I tried to do tonight. I tried to lead with my play, my action a little bit more, scoring the ball, being aggressive, because that's what my team needed from me.
Anything to follow up with Malcolm here?
Yeah, I got one quick thing. How much time, Malcolm, would you say that you guys spent on that box and one that we saw briefly tonight?
0 time. He just threw it at us. But that's what they did in Toronto. He's talked to us about that a lot. We got to be ready for his adjustments. Even if we haven't worked on it, we got to be ready. We didn't spend any time on that. He threw it at us, and they made some shots, but we did not want Tatum to score the ball. And that's what, we accomplished our goal with that.
All right. Thank you, Malcolm. We appreciate it.
Thank you.